activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Monday evening? I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the YouTube warriors. You know, I put out a stream. I just want to let the YouTube folks know. I put out a stream. The stream was supposed to hit that announcement, but for some reason, it started a brand new stream. So if there's anybody on the other stream that I set up, please come to this stream. If you know anybody who's waiting on the other stream, and I'm going to try to send a message to that stream there to try to get folks over. So if you know anybody who's waiting over there, tell them that Jermaine screwed up because he's black, and tell him to come over. All right? Absolutely. How's everybody doing? Beautiful, beautiful day. I can tell you that. You see the news. The news is always popping, right? The news is popping right now. A whole bunch of folks. Oh, yeah. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Definitely. So make sure you guys do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right. Now, let me go ahead and drop that YouTube link before we begin. All right. And while I'm doing this, please do your due diligence. Don't treat me like a red-headed stepchild. Right? Don't you do it. My wife has told me how red-headed stepchildren get treated. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. And I'm surprised, you know, redheaded stepchildren haven't formed their own club. Don't treat me like them. Treat me like your favorite grandson, the one that you want to bake cookies for. Absolutely. I love chocolate chip for anybody out there. I love chocolate chip. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready. I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to rock. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Before I do that, let me go ahead and give a shout out to some folks. We haven't did shout outs for a while. Let's do some shout outs here. First shout out goes out to Rocky USA in the building. Ron Baker. Shout out to Ron Baker. Shout out to Jerry Lewis. Shout out to you. Shout out to Jerome Glass and Leanne Glass, straight out of Princeton, Minnesota. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jesse the Loon Juggalo. Shout out to my guy Robert Marvin. Shout out to Reggie Smith. I see you there. Shout out. And let me go ahead and pull up Facebook. Shout out to my guy Chris Paul in the building helping a black brother out. Shout out to Jorge Padilla, Dorinda Perry, Greg Carlisle. Haven't seen you for a while, buddy. My guy Ron G in the building as usual. Shout out to Ron G. Wesley Morris. Shout out to you. Lisa Donatelli, how are you doing, sweetheart? Beautiful woman. Shout out to Lisa Donatelli. Alex Ranildi. Shout out to you. And shout out, last but not least, Boots McCurry and Judy M. Quillen. All right. Shout out to and Wesley Morris. I know there's some more folks in there, but we got to get rocking. Let's go ahead and begin, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and show you guys a very disturbing video. I mean, it is really bad. Really bad. Make sure you share. Ain't I crazy? Absolutely. It's about a man by the name of Antonio.
This is the start of a journey.
Excuse me. Antonio Batres, 21. He's facing a murder charge for shooting a 49-year-old man in the back. And this was after a physical altercation at a Houston Family Dollar. You know them Family Dollar stores, they're out of control. I can tell you that. Every Family Dollar I've been to been ghetto. Been ghetto. I mean, I just can't make it up. Can't make it up. Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Store. All ghetto. They're all ghetto. Let's just be honest. Right? You go there, you see mamas, bastard children, people ready to steal and fight. That's what you get. Well, let me tell you something. This one is absolutely crazy. Antonio dumps a whole clip in this man, and let me tell you something. It's absolutely outrageous. I want you guys to take a look at this when I come back. I want to speak about this because our society is absolutely screwed up. It is. Here we go.
Yes, do you don't see all that stuff in his pen? He had lighter fluid. He need to chill out. He kind of.
Did you guys see that? I want to play it again.
Yes, do you don't see all that stuff in his pen? He had lighter fluid. He need to chill out. He kind of.
Shout out to Boots McCurry. Everybody wearing PJs at the dollar store. Absolutely. Hair bonnets, gosh darn, big ass Jiffy Pop bags on top of their head. Wearing slippers, right? You can't make this stuff up. Dollar store, ghetto. In this case, Family Dollar in Houston. This is what our society has turned into. It's almost like a free-for-all melee. You get upset that somebody caught you stealing, and you know what you do? You go and kill that person. That's exactly what happened here. Man was caught stealing, and instead of him to leave, he fights with a person there and kills another person. 21-year-old black man. This is what's going on in the community. The black community is very, very, very dangerous and violent. And this is what the liberals don't want people to see. This goes on every day, and I want people to understand this. It's a normality in the community. Last week, I showed you a shooting that happened in Atlanta. You guys remember that, right? Black man killed a 51-year-old security guard. Shot him point blank range in the back of the head. In broad daylight. Ransacked his pockets and took off. Old man sitting there. Doesn't render aid. 3 people later come and do what? Rummage through the dead guy's pocket. Don't render aid. Don't call the police. That is how evil the community is, how the culture has turned into something that is detrimental for everybody. Right? I know some of y'all live in affluent areas. Hey, Jermaine, I live in Scottsdale. You know, in Scottsdale, we don't have that problem. Right? I know you're thinking like that. But one thing I want to tell you, this problem spreads like wildfire. It does. So the longer you don't care, the faster it comes to a community near you. And I want people to understand that. You have to care about these type of things that happen in the community. You have to. Because right now, the culture of killing is a normality in many, if not all, urban cities, metropolitan areas. It's the culture. And most of the time they get away. If you look at the killings in Chicago, over 50% of the killings are not solved. Not solved. You guys remember, we showed you the statistics. It's a shame. Let me tell you. So I want folks to understand this is the culture. And it's spread through rap music, right? It's spread through the media in terms of movies, glorifying thug and criminal culture. To the point where you have the President of the United States, Barack Obama, tap dancing to crack dealer songs. It's serious. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want you guys to see this picture here. This is a perfect picture to show next. I want you guys to see this picture. This picture is a prom picture that was taken at a high school in Florida. I want you guys to take a look at this. I want you guys to take a look at this. Black man. Black young man holding a firearm, pointing it at the camera. Look, he got squiggles. He looked like a ghetto ass Sideshow Bob. You guys know Sideshow Bob, right? If you ever watch The Simpsons, let me go ahead and bring Sideshow Bob up. If you ever seen The Simpsons before, There's a character on there called Sideshow Bob. Let me go ahead and show you guys an image because Sideshow Bob, let me tell you something. Let me go ahead and show you guys an image. That's Sideshow Bob. You see how crazy his hair looks? Right? Yeah, you see how crazy his hair looks? Yeah, that's Sideshow Bob. Now take a look at this. Bow. Right? He looked like a ghetto-ass version. And then we got this black queen. Right? They would call her a black queen. Look like a queen of death and a gosh darn hair hat. She got her hair hat pressed real nicely. I think this come from an Egyptian horse. And then look at what she's doing. She's holding up a gun. While they have another gun on the floor. Matthew Steinerger says, what gang colors are purple? You know what? I'm not sure. I know the Latin Kings, some of them rock purple. I know some GDs here and there rock purple, Gangster Disciples. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know if they're in a gang, tie-dye pants, tie-dye purple dress and pants. I don't know. You know, I don't see any gang signs. You know, Negroes love gang signs, so I didn't see any picture of gang signs, but that is the picture. That is the culture in Black America. Instead of them to dress nice and take a good prom pic, they dress just like they do every day, like animals and thugs in the street. And you'll wonder why there's so much killing and death amongst Black Americans. I want folks to understand, this is the main reason why. Black folks should get out of crying about trying to stop some violence. Because the black folks who are crying about stopping the violence are the same ones endorsing this nonsense you just got done seeing. I want folks to understand this. It's evil. And it's wrong. And these folks need to be called out for it. There's no reason why they need to be taking a picture like this. None. Shout out to Cynthia Williams. She says, another Breonna Taylor in the making, of course. Of course. And I want people to understand something here too, because this is a beautiful teacher moment. Shout out to Cynthia J. Williams. Another Breonna Taylor in the making. Instead of her to go to school, finish school, find a proper gentleman, what she will likely do, how much you guys want to bet? She'll be pregnant in a few years with a thug. How much you want to bet? If not, maybe she already got kids. I don't know. I know snapbacks are very quick with the young ones. Snapbacks are quick. I know that. But this young lady here, hanging out with this young man, pregnant, or in jail. And this is the culture. I want folks to understand this is the culture. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up. Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? There's a meme here producer sent. I want to show you guys this. And I want to speak about it as well. I'm pretty sure I'm going to piss off some black folks. Make sure you share. I want you guys to take a look at this here. This is a picture that a lot of folks are posting right now. Black folks. Take a look at this. Can you guys see it? Top one has some white girls. Looks like they have some ARs in their hands. One of them has a shotgun, a rifle, assorted weapons. Looks like they're at some sort of dance. Some of them are dressed up. And one thing I can tell you, these folks are holding their weapons properly. These folks more than likely don't engage in criminal activity. Yeah. See, this is where black folks gonna get mad. I know black folk get mad. Jump up. At the bottom. Yeah, see these 4 black individuals. One thing you do notice, they're not holding their weapons properly. And one thing we do know about most violent crimes for you black idiots out there, they're dangerous. Right? Let's be honest. Black folks don't want to admit how dangerous you are. Right? Because most of the time, young black folks who are carrying weapons, they're carrying weapons illegally. I want you black folks to understand. You're going to get mad at me. I know you are. You were raised by your mama. I know you'll get mad. You're carrying the weapons more than not illegally. Right? Yeah. So when somebody sees a picture of ghetto black folks like the one we just got done seeing, the guy that looked like Sideshow Bob with his pants dropped, looked like a gosh darn thug. Yes, folks are going to say something about it. Yes. So, it does bother us. Yeah. It bothers Jermaine. When I see some white girls holding the guns up like this, holding them properly, right? I don't see many white girls holding guns. You don't. And on top of that, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Females holding guns are attractive. Feminine ones. Feminine ones. Yeah, you heard what I said, right? Feminine ones, yeah. Go ahead and ask guys. When they see a woman holding a firearm, right? When she can't hold it correctly. Even if she can. Right? It's attractive, ain't it, gentlemen? Let's be honest. It's attractive. Like, oh, you know how to shoot too, girl? Yeah, that's how the guys are. When ghetto hold the guns, right? You don't look attractive. You look like a black folks hold guns like criminals, right? You hold guns like you ain't supposed to hold guns. Yeah, ain't that crazy? I know. Jermaine on fire right now. I know. Right? You hold guns like you ain't supposed to hold the gun. That's why everybody looking at you crazy. Yeah, black folks, I'm bringing what we call common sense down, right? Yeah, and I know you're going to have that mindset of, you know what, Jermaine, white people do it too. White people don't hold guns correctly, right? I don't see many of them. I can tell you that. So I'm just pointing out what the truth is. I am pointing out what it is. When I see these white girls holding up the guns, it's attractive. Most men know this. When we see ghetto holding up the gun, we want to call the police. Right? When we see your black hands hold the gun up all crazy, we want to know where the cops are. Hey, some gosh darn monkey got a gun. Get him. So that's what it is. I had to do it, you know. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm a bad man. I know it. I just like being honest about it. God, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. That's it. You know, when ghetto hold a gun, I want to call the police. You know, shout out to Scott Lamb, says no respect for people's lives. They don't have respect for folks' lives. You know, sorry. When black folks start understanding what it is and the reason why people treat you like they do, then you'll change. You'll get rid of that evil mindset. If not, I mean, that's what it is. Shout out to Gail Copier. She says, laugh out loud. You are right, Jermaine. I do too. Yeah. See, shout out to Lisa Marie Hill. She says Jermaine is on fire. I told you. I'm not playing. I'm not playing about it. You know, when ghetto hold a gun, you want to call 911. You know, real fast. When you see them white girls hold a gun, you want to hold a gun with them. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to somebody who just donated. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, Robert Marvin. Took the $10 challenge. Says Jermaine on fire. Shout out to you. See, I told you I was on fire. I knew I was on fire. I swear to goodness, I knew it. I was like, man, I'm starting to sweat and my lips are getting dry. That means I'm on fire, baby. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and speak to you about a racist black politician here in Minnesota. Yeah, he's racist and he's black. He's black. Yeah, he goes by the name of John Thompson. He's been in the news before. He got pulled over for having Wisconsin. Well, he got pulled over, I believe, because of his plates. There was something going on with him. He had an expired license because of child support. This is what happened. And he argued with the cop and said that the only reason why he read his plates is because he saw him and he was black. You guys remember that, right? We spoke about that story. Governor Walz wanted him to step down and resign because of all the stuff that he was doing. He was running a racist mess. He went and apologized. He retained his seat. Well, guess what? That black fool is back at it again. I kid you not. You would think, he would learn his first lesson, but he's back at it again, accusing officers of racism. I kid you not. Apparently, his daughter was pulled over on a traffic stop, and he alleges that the officers acted in a racist manner. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy. I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to speak about it because whenever you have black liberals, black people who ascribe to liberalism and the idea of racism, you will have a complainer. You will have what I call a secret spy. Somebody who is watching your every move. And if they feel you did something racist, they're ready to tell on you. They're ready to make your life hell. This is what happens when you employ black liberals, when you are friends with black liberals, when you have black liberals around you. I don't like black liberals. They're dumb as rocks. Take a look at this. Here we go.
St. Paul police say State Representative John Thompson abused his position and tried to bully officers at a Sunday traffic stop involving a family member.
The police chief says the incident turned ugly pretty quickly. Political reporter Theo Keith is at the Capitol with more on this. So Theo, what happened exactly?
Well, this is hardly the first time Thompson has had controversy in his year and a half in office. Yesterday, police say he showed up after officers stopped a woman who he said was his daughter, screamed at officers, and then handed out business cards identifying himself as a state lawmaker.
The House will come to order.
Video shows State Representative John Thompson in his seat on the House floor at 5:50 p.m. Sunday for the State of the State. Just a half hour earlier, St. Paul police say the lawmaker was causing a much different scene. It started when police say they stopped a woman for erratic driving and expired tabs at this East Side intersection Sunday. Officers say they smelled marijuana. More officers arrived, and so did Thompson, saying the woman was his daughter. It turned ugly fast, St. Paul Police Chief Todd Axtell wrote, blasting Thompson in a Monday Facebook post. Axtell said Thompson tried to intimidate and bully officers. The chief said Thompson misused his position by handing out business cards to officers while accusing them of racism. To reduce tensions, police say they let the woman leave with Thompson and are asking the city attorney to charge her with a gross misdemeanor, DWI test refusal. Thompson does not face charges.
Black
police say the case is open. Axtell now wants the lawmaker to let body camera video of the scene be made public. State law only allows for a release in some situations, if the subject asks for it, or to dispel rumor or unrest.
Why'd you pull me over again?
Police used that provision to release video last summer when Thompson accused an officer of racially profiling him during a stop that revealed the lawmaker had a Wisconsin driver's license. That led to the discovery of past domestic violence allegations against Thompson. He was never convicted. House Democrats kicked Thompson out of their caucus, though he runs for office as a Democrat and recently lost the DFL endorsement for re-election.
Thompson was not here for the House's morning session today, using the remote voting option instead, which is allowed. Our email and phone requests were not returned. Thompson did make a Facebook post today, which he did not address this incident, but did confirm he is fundraising for re-election. We mentioned that he lost the DFL endorsement in his House district last month. And we should also mention that we're not naming the woman involved because Fox 9 does not identify suspects until they are formally charged. Amy, Kelsey?
All right. Thank you, Theo.
There you go. So you see what happens when you elect black Democrats. You can see, right? The black bullies. That's exactly what they are, ladies and gentlemen. They are black bullies. John Thompson was probably, most likely, 99% raised by his mama. This is what happens when you don't have your emotions in check. I want men to understand that's why God gave us logic. Yeah, he gave us logic and patience. You as a man have to think about the stuff you do. You just can't go off the handle like a female, right? A female can say, oh, I was just having a bad day, and people brush it off. Oh, my hormones. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, something's amiss in there. She can get the pass. But you cannot. There's no excuse to be acting belligerent and in that manner. Black liberals like him, raised by the mama, all into the emotion. Black folks are so emotional. When something is going wrong in their life, they blame it on racism. Instead of the man to come and see what's going on with the stop, he went to harass the cops. He went immediately and said that the cops were racist. This type of stuff going on is very evil. It is. It's very, very evil. And people need to start pointing it out. Honestly. You cannot have good discourse with folks who behave in this manner. You can't solve problems. You can't come together and build America with folks who are like this. They're not genuine. They're not up to par in the morality area. John Thompson is so bad as a Republican. As a Democrat. He's so bad as a Democrat that they kicked him out of their own caucus. The Democrats kicked him off. Kicked him off the Democratic bus. And then he lost re-election. So right now he's, in his last term, getting ready to leave. So, that's what happens when you play the woke game. You play woke, you go broke. And Democrats are starting to see this all over. Running the fake racism game. People are tired. People are so tired when you run the fake racism game. I want black folks to understand, because it's coming back to bite you very badly. when you run the fake racism game, people are so angry at the term racism. They are so hyper vigilant when it comes to this race crap. They go out of their way to make sure that the race hoax right now gets put out on blast. They make sure that the person is not able to be in the position that they were in. They make sure. I want folks to understand. That's how much people hate all this fake race crap going on. Soon as black folks bring up racism, I want black folks to know there's white people who are conspiring against you, and please believe I give them full authority to do so. Conspiring to get evidence to get your ass out of your job, out of your seat, whatever you are doing. Because this crap is detrimental to everybody. It is. When you have a person like that or in your midst, you are not safe. Nobody is safe. Their feelings are the only thing that matters. And that is dangerous. It really is. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, brother from another mother, John Lennon. Shout out to you, brother, for donating, took our challenge. I want to go ahead and give you one of these here. Shout out to you, John Lennon. Took the $10 challenge with Robert Marvin. Shout out to you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to speak about Elon Musk. Elon Musk. He's made a lot of folks happy today. He ain't make me happy, but he made a lot of folks happy. Elon Musk buys Twitter. Yep, they approved the deal. He's gonna take it private. I want you guys to take a look at this. When it come back, let's speak about it. You know, a lot of people have hopes for what they call free speech. You know, Elon Musk says that Twitter is a very, very important platform. You know, it should be unregulated with speech. I heard him say this. You know, my eyes blinked when he said it. I said, okay. You know, but still, you know, a brother is real skeptical. Let's take a look. Let's talk. Here we go.
Now to some news.
Yeah, and apparently it has happened. We know that a couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk put in an offer of almost $44 billion to buy Twitter, and apparently we're hearing it is now a done deal. That Twitter's board, after much consideration, has decided that they're going to take his offer. The last we heard, it was around $54 a share, but because, as Sandra pointed out earlier, the share price was rising, Musk might have had to kick in another billion or so dollars. But it looks like Twitter is going to be transitioning from a public company to a privately held company now with Elon Musk at its head. And Sandra, everybody's wondering what this is going to mean, and apparently a lot of liberals have been almost losing their minds over this idea.
This is a done deal. The press release is officially out. Elon Musk to acquire Twitter. The deal, $54.20 a share, $54.20 a share. The news we knew was coming as of a few minutes ago, John, because Twitter shares, which have been spiking in anticipation of this news, were halted a few minutes ago pending news. So the stock is still not reacting because it's been halted so that this press release could come out. But this deal is valued at approximately $44 billion. I mean, that is an unbelievable amount of money. It will become upon the completion of this transaction, Twitter will become a privately held company. And it goes back to that Wall Street Journal piece that Bill Hemmer and I were digging into last hour. What exactly does this mean, and what exactly will he do with this company? Many are wondering whether or not he'll expose the algorithms inside that company.
He got information.
Leadership within that company. Will employees who have threatened
I don't trust
if
him.
he buys this company, will they actually follow through on that? There's a whole lot of questions about what he is going to do with this company.
Look how crazy his eyes are.
As of a few moments ago, it's a done deal, and Musk has disclosed his approximately 9% stake in the company.
Yeah, well, said he wanted more transparency.
Bow.
He wanted less censorship. He said that
he said everything that folks wanted to hear to be popular. Let me tell you. You know, it don't take a rocket scientist to know that most folks want free speech. It don't take a rocket scientist to know what to say to become popular. Right? It don't take a rocket scientist. Elon Musk acquires Twitter. It will become a private company. Elon Musk, one guy I don't trust. I don't. He's into too much Luciferian technology. Elon Musk is. He's into brain chips. Yeah. He's into the same virtual crap that Zuckerberg is into. I don't trust him. And him acquiring Twitter means he knows everything about your damn ass. He knows when you burp. He knows when you sit down and take your squat in the morning. He knows when you're fighting with your mama. Right? So folks are so dumb. I just got done fighting with my mama. The man is going to get what I call immense data of human interaction. Data that he could never get by himself. That's why I don't trust him. He's into things like that. When you acquire Twitter, right, for all the free speech folks, I want you to understand how the Luciferian mind works, right? The regular person doesn't have an evil mind, right? Luciferians look at technology and they say, how can I misuse this technology to my advantage? The regular person doesn't think like this. Right? You have to train your brain to think like a Luciferian. So you know what steps they are making. When this man is running around saying free, I just don't trust him. He should have been running his mouth years ago when the free speech was getting cut off. Right? When the free speech was getting cut off. When people were getting kicked off right and left, he was quiet. Where was Elon Musk? All of a sudden, he's seen the light. People are saying how smart he is. Hey, Jermaine, he's so smart. He's so smart, right? He's so smart. Did he just see the light? No, he didn't just see the light. He knows people are dumb. He does. Oh, a billionaire, all you got to do is say, hey, I'm for free speech. Conservatives jump up. Conservatives throwing their panties at him. Not knowing the hell that comes with the technology of the platform. When we talk about human interactions, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand he's into brain chips. He wants people to live in a cloud. He wants to put a chip in your brain. And anything that you can think of information can be transmitted to you. It's almost like you're a super person. It's like having Google in your mind. That's the stuff he wants to do. He's into some serious technology, ladies and gentlemen. And for him, in my personal opinion, to further the technology forward, right? Like Mr. Zuckerberg. Mr. Zuckerberg has something that Elon Musk wants. Do you know that? Zuckerberg has what we call the way people interact socially. He knows what triggers to use in the media to get people to act and behave in a certain way. We're talking about human psychology, how to control people. Do you understand? That's what Zuckerberg has. Why do you think they were holding meetings in Congress for? Right? He says that likes on the posts are addictive, right? It hits certain receptors in your brain. He knows this. How do you think he knew this? He knows this, ladies and gentlemen. He knows this through looking at the data of interactions between people on his platform. He knows when this information comes out, right? People act this way. Do you understand how important that technology is? How valuable that type of information is? To know how to control people massively. That is what Elon Musk wants. He could give a rip about free speech. He's into technology. He wants that information. He doesn't have that information anywhere else. He can't get it anywhere else. He doesn't have a platform to get it. He acquires this platform because it's one of the biggest platforms out there. And now he has all the data he needs in how people interact with each other. And he's able to use this data to further his technological goal. And the end goal is what we call transhumanism. Merging humans with technology. And at the end of the tunnel is what I call enslaved humans. It's slavery. A small amount of people want to control all the rest. And to be able to do this, you need information. You need to know how people interact. And Twitter is the perfect platform for this. So when I'm sitting here and I'm seeing people jump up and down, it's only because they are thinking about only the mere surface. You're only thinking about what is right in front of you. Right? Luciferians play the long game. So shows like this, we go deeper than, just speaking about, hey, free speech now, right? There's, Sean Hannity and all the rest of these guys talking about free speech. Is Trump going to come back, right? I know most of y'all are thinking like that. But you have to start looking beyond the veil here, right? You're dealing with somebody who is very savvy and technology, very savvy when it comes to putting out certain things. He knows exactly what he's doing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know what to say to become popular. And I want folks to understand that. Doesn't. So I just want to go ahead and point that out there. I know folks are jumping up and happy. I don't trust him. I don't, because he's into technology that takes away people's free will. And that is a very important concept. I want folks to understand one thing that God gives everybody that cannot be taken away is free will. And once people start trying to take away others' free will, that's when hell breaks loose. That's when intervention is needed. And I'm letting you guys know that's exactly what he's up to. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to speak to you guys about Ron DeSantis. He recently signed a bill ending Disney's self-governing body. Take a look at this. Here we go.
Turning now to breaking news. Just moments ago, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did sign a bill, which is now law, to end Disney's special self-governing status, setting up a potential legal fight with one of the state's biggest moneymakers. NBC News Now correspondent Maura Barrett joining us live from the state capital of Tallahassee. Never a dull day in Florida, Maura. This is no exception. Now, this particular signing won't take effect until June of 2023. What options does Disney have between now and then to contest this law?
Never a dull week, it seems, right, Sam? But basically, now that this bill has been signed into law, there's still some confusion over the Florida Constitution about what actually can dissolve a special district. And Reedy Creek is the special district that Disney sits in right now. And even with this law, there is a part of the Constitution that says that members of the special district have to vote to dissolve it. And so there's definitely going to be some legal challenges in the meantime when it comes to that, because this is going to have a big implication for the company, for Florida residents surrounding the Disney World area, and people that are looking to come and visit Disney World. Because if they do dissolve everything, basically what that means is that Disney has no jurisdiction over its fire department anymore, its emergency services, utilities, sewage, all of the things it used to fund for itself will now be the responsibility of the surrounding counties. And so this is something that they can either push back against in court or work to compromise with lawmakers and the state house here in Florida. We did reach out to Disney for any sense of clarity, and they declined to comment, Sam.
And that's a great point. Disney was essentially functioning as a government, and those services, fire, police, they're expensive. So in terms of the Florida taxpayers that are living in that area that would bear the burden of that now that the self-governance would be gone, any idea how much this would cost them?
It is expensive, like you said, to run something as massive as Disney World. And reminder, over the past 2 years, visits to Disney World have dropped immensely. So while they're definitely taking in a lot of revenue, they've aggregated a lot of debt. Some experts estimating up to $1 billion that could then dissolve into surrounding counties, Osceola and Orange County's taxpayers' pockets. One tax collector in Orange County estimating it could spike taxes up to 25% for some residents. I spoke with a Democratic lawmaker here in Tallahassee just yesterday after the bill was passed through the House, and he talked about how frustrated he is. He represents a district in Orange County that they didn't really get any heads up about this being brought to the floor this week.
Yeah, now they're reacting, and we'll see what kind of backlash.
Solving Reedy Creek debt has to be paid, and somebody's going to have to incur that debt. And I believe it'll be just a negative impact on Central Floridians, because they already have a skyrocketing property.
And then you should go ahead and then you go and talk to Disney. Then get mad at Disney
right now to put this financial burden on the backs of individuals who are already struggling.
Negro, please.
So already a really expensive area to be living in, let alone in the time of the inflation we're seeing, right, Sam? And so this is something that I posed to Republican lawmakers who sponsored this bill, and they said that passing this bill, limiting Disney self-governance and letting it dissolve into the surrounding counties is just a first step. They want to make sure Disney is held accountable to pay back their own debt, but obviously we haven't seen that been introduced yet.
A lot of families curious to see how they're going to figure out a solution to now these costs that are about to come.
Wow. They're making it seem as if this will be a massive tax burden. Stop it. The media is trying to make it seem like the average person gonna be paying thousands of dollars in taxes. Right? Not everybody in Florida, Central Floridians, might see a nice little premium on their property taxes. Yeah. They're going to have to work out something, but you can't get mad at the governor. You have to get mad at Disney. Do you care more about taxes or do you care more about children's innocence? And this is where it comes down to. How much are your children worth? And this needs to be a message Republicans put out. Republicans need to hire me. I mean, I got so many good ideas. You guys that ain't got no good ideas. None. A lot of ideas cockamamie. They need to hire me to be the national spokesperson, the national person to be running around with campaigns. This is outrageous. The governor right now should be running commercials saying, how much do you care about your kids? How much are you willing to pay for your kids' safety and innocence? That should be the message going out to combat this BS. Are your children important to you? How much are you willing to pay to secure for your children's safety, your children's innocence? How much? And that's what Floridians need to hear. That's what they need to hear. Instead of this BS where, oh my God, all of a sudden now Floridians are going to be hit with this tax burden. How can this governor do this? Oh my goodness, great. Oh my God. Ah! Instead of hearing all that jazz, there should be somebody say, how much do you care about your kids? How much do you care about your kids' innocence? That should be the message. And when parents hear that, they hear the governor got rid of Disney's special status because they have an agenda to push gay culture on our children. And the governor says he is trying to protect innocence. How much are you willing to pay to secure your children's innocence? Because that's what it is right now. And you're starting to see people care more about the dollar than their own children. I want folks to understand that. They care more about the dollar than their own children. That is evil. And that's what needs to be explained. So while these people here are trying to shame the governor should put a nice little message. How much are you willing to pay for your children's innocence? Because that's what it's going to cost. And if you're not willing to pay, right, you care more about the dollars than your children's innocence, then go ahead, right? If you want your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old to be hit with an abnormal lifestyle, and yes, it is. I'm not going to sit here and argue with nobody. It's an abnormal lifestyle. Abnormal. If you're going to sit there and support it, there's something going on with you. So shout out to the governor. Shout out to the governor. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Next one up. I want to speak to you guys about this quick clip that NBC News put out. They are saying 170,000 illegal immigrants are waiting for Biden to lift Title 42 on May 23rd. Is it no, I think it's the 26th. Soon as that is lifted, gosh darn it, they're riding horses across the border. Take a look at this. Make sure you share.
Tonight on the southern border, frantic desperation. A shrieking mother plunging into the Rio Grande, chased by Mexican authorities, scrambling to stop the surge of migrants. This family from Cuba, like thousands of others, risking everything to cross. For more than 2 years, many migrants have been denied entry because of Title 42, a public health policy enacted during the pandemic by the Trump administration, which expedited deportations back to Mexico. U.S. officials tell NBC News 170,000 migrants are waiting in Mexico, ready to cross, while the White House lifts the Title 42 restriction on May 23rd.
Wow, shout out to James Patel. Absolutely, May 23rd. I thought it was the 26th, but it is the 23rd. 170,000 migrants. You guys got done hearing it. They're waiting. You know, they're over there cooking. You know, they're doing the cha-cha slide. Yeah. You know, the Harlem Shake. Yeah. They doing everything while waiting to cross the border. This is a mess that Biden has created. They want to destroy this country through immigration. I've told you guys this. Balkanization. Bloating up our social services to the point where we can't afford it anymore. To the point where, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes insolvent. Do you understand? If you go to the doctor right now, even through this COVID crap, it's hard to get in. Ain't it? You got to wait weeks to get an appointment in. Well, let me tell you something. The more illegals come, the longer you going to wait. You're absolutely certain of that. The longer you are going to wait. And Biden, he don't care about you. Congress, they don't care about you. They have their own Cadillac plan. So we have to be able to point these things out and vote a lot of these people out, including Republicans. Republicans can sit there with a straight face and go along with sending money to Ukraine, billions of dollars, to help and secure another country's sovereignty and border. And guess what? It ain't working. They losing. Money gone. But yet they can't sit there with a straight face and come up with a way to secure our border and our sovereignty. It's a damn shame. It really is. It's a damn shame. That's why when Anthony Allen says, Republicans, you better put down the Ukraine flag and start flying the American flag, I clap up and jump up for joy. Because there's too many Republicans out there, right? One's by the name of Sean Hannity, crazy white man, jumping up and getting down on his knees for Ukraine. It's quite pitiful. But that's where we're at right now. A lot of people are finessing and playing the game. And somebody who says that they're not playing the game goes by the name of Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan interviewed Trump. And let me tell you something. It was a wild interview. There are reports that Trump stormed out of the interview. He didn't finish the interview. Yeah, he didn't finish the interview. Piers Morgan calls him a baby. I want to go ahead and show you guys this excerpt from his interview he had with President Trump. In this clip, they speak about what they call the election being rigged. This is a very intense clip. I want you guys to take a look at this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Make sure you share. Hopefully, okay. We gonna run it a 10th fast. A 10th faster. That's what producer says because it might get clipped. YouTube might clip it. We'll do that. I think we'll be good if we do that. All right. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
To winning, but he categorically did not win the 2020 election. He lost. Joe Biden won, and Trump's been a really, really sore loser ever since. I also believe his refusal to admit defeat inspired and perhaps incited a violent mob to descend on the US Capitol on January the 6th, 2021, some of the most shocking scenes American democracy has ever witnessed. I was appalled by these scenes, and I've always felt that Trump should have taken more responsibility for what was unequivocally an attempt to prevent the peaceful handover of power after a democratic election. Here's what I said at the time. He didn't just cross a line. He trampled all over that line, and he's now a threat to American democracy. And to those who warned this was what was going to happen with Trump, you've been proven right. I stand by that, and I put it directly to the former president. The things I'm not happy about with your presidency, I'll be completely straight with you, to your face. One of them is what happened on January the 6th, which was a result of you refusing to accept the result of the election.
Before you start this,
okay.
Nancy Pelosi is in charge of security. She didn't do her job.
She's half in charge of it. So the Republicans
the mayor of D.C.
and the Democrats have equal share of
the
that.
mayor of D.C. and Nancy Pelosi are in charge
actually,
of
the Republicans and the Democrats have 50-50. She was actually cowering for terror in fear of her life that day because there was a huge mob of people who were attacking the centre of democracy in America. I want to read you what Mitch McConnell said, who's the Senate minority leader.
Well, Mitch McConnell is
I know.
not a good representative.
You can respond to what he said, but he still remains.
Party.
He remains the senior Republican.
Unfortunately.
Okay, but he is right now. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. But he said this. He's acknowledged that Joe Biden was the legitimate winner of the 2020 election. He's rejected your claims of fraud. And he said about January the 6th, we were all there. We saw what happened. It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power after a legitimately certified election from one administration to the next. That's what it was. He told this to the Senate on February the 13th last year. Former President Trump's actions preceding the riot were a disgraceful dereliction of duty. He then
If
said,
that were Chuck
he then said
Schumer-
there's no question that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of that day. And even this, he said about the rioters, they did this because they've been fed wild falsehoods by the most powerful man on earth because he was angry he'd lost an election.
Okay. Number one, he knew nothing about what took place in the election. The press hates to write about it, but that election was rigged and it was stolen.
You said to me once.
100%. I don't mean a little bit.
All right.
And you know, it's funny, when a Hillary Clinton or when Stacey Abrams says, oh, the election was rigged, nobody says anything. But when Trump says it, but the difference is I have proof, and we have massive proof.
Okay, but let me ask you
All
this
you have
question.
to do is take a look.
Let me ask you.
Take a look at the ballot harvesting that took place.
Let me ask you this.
Millions
You
of
said to me
votes.
once that if you talk the talk, and you're a great talker, I've seen that today, if you talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. In the context of your claim about the fraudulent election, it's been 14 months, and we've not seen this hard evidence of the fraud that you say happened.
The press won't report it. The press,
You haven't produced
this is
it.
like a communist country.
Where is the
It's
proof?
all over the place. We have
It's not,
so
I've read
much-
everything. Can I just put another thing to you? Because I've watched this whole debate, Ray, and you've been completely unflagging in your refusal to accept defeat. And
You know why, though? You know why? Because if our country doesn't have fair and free elections, and if our country doesn't have borders, we don't have a country.
Okay.
We have crooked, corrupt elections.
But here's what I would say to you.
And I've proven it.
Here's what I would say to you. I believe it was a free and fair election and that you lost.
You don't really believe
That's
that?
my belief.
All right, well, then you're a fool.
However,
Then you're a fool.
maybe I am a fool. Maybe I'm the fool in this conversation.
And you're a fool and you haven't studied it.
Okay, I have studied it.
Well, maybe I am a fool, but of course I've studied it. I've read a lot about what happened with the 2020 election, and I've seen no hard evidence, like I told him, that there was substantial voter fraud. Nobody has seen that. But the bottom line with all this is Trump seems to me to be fighting on the wrong hill about why he was treated unfairly in 2020. There's another argument that he could produce, which I think has a lot more merit. Just 3 weeks before the election, the New York Post published a sensational front-page story about Hunter Biden, son of the now President Joe Biden. Emails found on Hunter's abandoned laptop contained proof that he sold influence while his father was vice president. But the liberal-run social media giants squashed the scandal, with Twitter and Facebook shamefully blocking the Post's scoop. They even stopped the Post having an account. And mainstream media dismissed it all as Russian disinformation. So none of them reported it properly. And some believe that if they had done, it could have swung the election in Trump's favour. In other words, if more people had known about this story, if more people had scrutinised this story, if it hadn't been so wrongly censored, then they might have voted differently or stayed at home. I put this to President Trump.
There is another twist in this tale where I think you're on much stronger ground and where I would agree with you, and that is the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, which is what it's become. And it could lead right to the top with Joe Biden. We don't know yet. But it seems to me that the way that mainstream media and the tech giants conspired to suppress that story, literally removing it from social media platforms,
17
not
points.
reporting it, not chasing it, 50 senior people coming out saying this was Russian disinformation, all complete nonsense. There is a belief that that could have swung the election your way. In other words, when you talk about having a stolen election, actually you're on better ground, it seems to me, with the Hunter
Are
Biden
you
laptop
ready?
story.
They say it made a 17-point difference. But you know what? Even without that, I won it, and we won it big, and we won it easily. It was so corrupt in Wisconsin that they're saying, what do we do? They don't know what to do. They caught him. So only a fool, and I guess you're a fool, only a fool would think that was a legitimate.
You think I'm a fool?
I do now, yeah.
Frank Sinatra said the best revenge is massive success. Isn't your best revenge, rather than talking constantly about the last
I don't
election?
talk constantly, but you brought it up.
You do,
I didn't.
you do.
You brought it
Come
up.
on, eat away at you.
Excuse me. You brought it up. I didn't. I don't talk about it very much. I do say it was rigged. Mitch McConnell is stupid, and he shouldn't have allowed it to happen, but he did. But if you look at the results and if you look at what happened, but even you sitting here saying, well, that doesn't matter. But the law,
I think
the
facts
law
matter.
is, look,
I think
the
facts
law
matter.
is,
Mr.
even the
President, with
numbers.
respect, your own Vice President, Mike Pence, says you lost the election.
Mike was
The
foolish.
head of the Republicans
Mike
in the
was
Senate
foolish.
says you lost it.
Mike was foolish, and he was weak.
There you go. You should have said Mike is foolish, weak, and a gosh darn. He should have said it. A fraud. Trump in this interview here, he was poised. If he was a liberal, he wouldn't be able to handle those type of questions. Trump is very adamant that the election was stolen. I want folks to know I have to speak very well on here, or else, channel get taken down and some idiot starts reporting me. So you know what it is, right? Wink, wink. You know what it is. Trump is very adamant that the election was stolen. Piers Morgan, it seems that he dismissed a lot of what Trump was saying. Just like the liberal media. And the reason why it's very easy for him to do this, I want folks to understand. That's why it's very important for Trump to pick good folks. He doesn't pick very good folks. Right? I'm just being honest. He just doesn't. If you're finessed by your right-hand man, you're not a good picker. Piers Morgan, other Republicans, always bring that up. Right? They do. Well, your own vice president said you lost. Well, Mitch McConnell, leader at that time, said you lost. Right? I want folks to understand. That's why they're always able to do those type of things. I have to watch my words. I have to. Piers Morgan then brings up, in my opinion, a very, very good reason of why Trump lost. Spoke about the Hunter Biden investigation that was kept under wraps, which, let me tell you something, had a massive effect on the election. But besides that, Trump in this interview was poised and he stuck to task. He did. When he runs again, he needs to not, I don't even know. Somebody need to maybe pick folks for. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a problem if you're picking people and they all turn on you. At some point, you have to start turning around and looking at yourself to see what's going on with you. And this is just, this is just common sense. Damn near everybody he picked turned on him. There's something going on. Even William Barr, everybody. And then they come out with books and all sorts of crap. Now, I know everybody, well, everybody's a snake, right? Jermaine, every last one of them are snakes, right? So it's serious. I'm hoping that there's somebody out there who will pick for him. Somebody will say, hey, Trump, I don't know what's going on with the last time your cabinet in that situation, But let me tell you something. We're going to pick for you this time. We know who to pick. Trump, come and speak with us. We'll pick your cabinet for you. Yeah, we'll pick it for you. We'll pick your vice president. We'll pick everybody. Because we seen the last time how you picked. Yeah. People were going in and out. Press secretaries and everything. We gonna pick for you. I think that'll be good. Shout out to Cynthia J. Wood. Look what Omarosa did to Trump. I know. I didn't even want to bring her up. That's why I said we will pick for Trump. Trump don't pick good folks. He don't. Sorry. I mean, you could know how to make a lot of money. But when it comes to certain other things, maybe he ain't good at it. And one thing I do know for sure, Trump ain't good at picking people in his cabinet. He's not good at either he's not good at how can I say looking at character. You know, maybe he's easily fooled by character. I have no idea. You know, maybe he has such a loving heart that, you know, Luciferian just got to smile and get in his good graces. I have no idea. But whatever the case is, somebody need to be there right next to him. And they should make the decision for him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because it is terrible. I've never seen a vice president turn on the president like that before. That's serious. And I said it when it happened. You pick your right hand man, and your right hand man turns on you. There's something wrong. You pick Trump. Your right hand man gotta be a yes man. Don't you do the liberal thing where you want him to argue with you. Don't you do it. Have a yes man. Everybody next to you need to be yes Trump. That's what they need to do. All this, I don't know, Trump, all that type of stuff. Get rid of these folks. Get rid of them. Shoot. I wouldn't mind Trump to be a dictator for 4 years. Right? Yeah, like a monarch. You know, gosh darn it, Trump just, you know, sometimes our system, and you can see the inadequacies in our government. The way our government is set up to run inefficiently. Our government don't run good at all. Yeah, it don't. People can run their mouth all day long about democracy. But when it comes down to moving the ball, moving your country forward, dictators move their country forward because there's nobody to sit there and argue with. If you have somebody who's a good dictator, they're going to be moving the country forward without all the jibber jabber. Can't get nothing done with the Congress we have. Too much hang-ups in this country. Nothing moves. Nothing. Unless Luciferians wanted to move. I'm telling ya. You want to know a bad government? Look at the U.S. government. Inefficient. Inefficient as hell. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. That is our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming out here. Everybody for hanging with us. I'll be on tomorrow with our good friend Jamal, Mind of Jamal. So, it shall be a very good show. We're going to be running our mouth and eating chicken. So come hang out. Absolutely. We're going to speak more about Elon Musk. I know that for sure. We're going to definitely speak about, we're going to speak about Trump. Apparently, the contempt charge was hit today. Trump was hit with a contempt charge. We're going to speak about that as well. There's a lot to talk about. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. He should have Don Jr. help him. Maybe Don Jr. can, make the decisions. Don Jr. But sometimes I don't be trusting them folks. Rich folks like to hire other rich folks who ain't up to nothing. Rich folks like to endorse other rich folks who ain't shit. I'm just telling what the truth is. Money. When you're talking a lot of rich, money talks. So sometimes their eyes don't see what they really need to choose. Absolutely. Everybody got a price. Don't get mad at me when I say that. Everybody and their mama got a price. And when it comes to a lot of these rich folks, let me tell you something. They like to hang that price out and see who want to meet it. I can tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Make sure you got to hit that like button. Make sure you share. See you tomorrow. Peace. Love ya in a ball of hair grease. Bye.